What's up, IU fans? How's it going? The off season is coming to an end. We have celebrated, we have paraded, we have pop bottles left, right, and center. But week zero is around the corner. By the way, week zero slate is jam-packed. Gonna be fired
Actually,
up.
nice. Yeah.
And then, of course, Indiana kicks things off on September 5th. That's 41-point favorites right now against North Texas, if you're interested in laying that number. Matt and I have been chilling this off season, doing a bunch of different things on the side,
Yes.
but we're back and better than ever here on the Hoosier Sound, the official podcast
Back.
of Indiana HQ. Matt, this podcast is here to win championships.
Yeah, and only to win
If you
championships
don't
is
want to win
correct.
championships, you should go listen to other podcasts. You should go
I see
listen to
what you're reference. I see what you're
you should go
referencing
listen
now.
to other
Yeah.
podcasts. This is a championship level podcast here
Was that not the dumbest thing anyone has
with a
ever said in the
championship
history of time?
with a championship level team. Okay? Championship level. If you want to listen, if you want to listen to other podcasts, they're not championship level podcasts. At least until next January. All right. So recording this edition of the Hoosier Sound on Friday, August 21st, 2026. I am Nithin Krishnan. Here with me is my normal co-host, Matt Lukens. Matt, open-ended here. We've had an off season. We've had an amazing, 7-month stretch of just reflecting on the amazement of last year's undefeated national champs, the best college football team of all time, the only 16-0 undefeated national champ of all time.
That's facts.
Curt Cignetti has made some comments at Media Day. Training camp, fall camp is going. What do you want to talk about today, Matt? I was thinking we could dive into the AP poll that came out. We could talk about Josh Hoover. We could talk about this IU roster in general. There are a lot of different ways to go with this. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm trying to remember what did we talk about on the last podcast we did, what, like five
It
months
was like,
ago?
yeah, it was like right after Indiana won the title, and we were just celebrating the team and beating Miami and saying like what our favorite moments were, and then the
And we were
entire
trying to
offseason has
pretend
happened.
basketball was not happening at the same time. Yeah,
Look,
I do remember this now. All right, so yeah, obviously a lot has changed.
yeah,
Our portal class is awesome,
yeah,
right? I think we had number one portal class in between now and then.
a lot of additions that make
Um,
sense.
I would have told you, by the way, and I might have talked about it before we ended the last
Hmm.
podcast, but Nick Marsh was like my number one
Yeah,
go-to go get that
yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah,
And I'm very
yeah.
glad that actually I talked that into existence, which I spoke that into existence, which I will take.
Is
Um,
he going under the radar?
like
Is he going under the radar right now?
he's sonar level now. Like he's not under the radar, he's
Yeah,
underwater, right? Like we need a submarine to go find the hype for him right now.
I think the
Which
the
is good.
IT people, is it still Ewits at IU? The IT people,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they're like nuking the Nick Marsh algorithm. I think Cignetti got into them with the meeting, and after the gold shoes thing, I think
Yeah.
Cignetti was like, "Hey, look, any keyword hit searches for Nick Marsh, ban them from the internet until week one."
It's weird. I haven't heard really anything about him all summer except for like there's like one highlight video where he made like this insane catch.
Yeah,
And then like randomly he'll tweet something
yeah, right,
and it'll just pop up in my like
sure,
recommended
yeah,
page,
yeah.
which I've lost hours of my life to the Twitter recommended page, which I think makes me a bot.
It's
But
fine.
anyways,
It's fine. I've heard a lot of
yeah,
Charlie Becker. I've heard a lot of Josh Hoover.
a lot of Charlie Becker, a lot of Josh Hoover, but our boy Nick Marsh flying under the radar. I do think that is because everyone looks at him and looks at his numbers and goes, eh.
Meh. Yeah.
But like he put up like slightly above, numbers at Michigan State, who was beyond awful the last 2 seasons. So surely he takes what I think he has like what 600 yard receiving seasons.
Yeah, back-to-back
Um,
great seasons, back-to-back seasons of scoring against Indiana, back-to-back
yeah,
seasons of being a thorn in the ass for Cignetti and Bryant Haynes and
he's gonna
D'Angelo
take that
Pons.
600 yard season and
Yeah,
turn into 1,000 yard season this year. I will almost guarantee it. He breaks 1,000 this year.
I mean, he had multiple catches in every game last year with guys like Alesso Milivojevic throwing him the football, Aiden Childs throwing him the football. I
He's got
mean,
Josh Hoover and he's in an Indiana and he's in a Shanahan offensive system. He's gonna get the ball 5 yards from the line of scrimmage with no one in front of him.
or he'll be able to develop the whole route tree, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you'll get your go routes, you'll get your posts, you'll get your slants, you'll get your hitch, you'll get your everything, your out, your in, your screens, your blocking.
Hopefully we get him on that back shoulder tech. Yeah,
You
we're gonna
think?
miss that without Surratt. Yeah, him
Yeah.
and Becker. If him and Becker can do what Surratt and Cooper were able to do last year for majority of the season,
Let's
scratch
go.
Cooper. 'Cause Omar Cooper wasn't like the back shoulder guy.
No, he was a different type of receiver. I don't think Indiana has an Omar Cooper style receiver in this offense for
Oh,
2026.
I disagree. I
Because I don't think
disagree.
Charlie Becker or Nick Marsh play the game like Omar Cooper does.
No, 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 no. And neither of them will.
Okay,
I
so
think
you're saying somebody
Shaz
else.
Preston is that guy. I
Mm,
think maybe a Shaz Preston or
Tyler
Tyler
Morris.
Morris is that guy. But Tyler Morris is more of like an out and out slot guy, and Omar did a lot more than just
That's
your normal slot receiver stuff.
he was so
But
smart too. His IQ, especially
his
going into that
blocking was insane.
going
His
into
run
his
blocking was insane.
like in the Cignetti era, the biggest improvement Omar Cooper made was between the ears. He was a decent receiver before Cignetti came along. The receiving elevated, but his attention to detail as a wide receiver, avoiding offensive pass interference penalties, becoming a better blocker, knowing where the sideline is, knowing where the back of the end zone is at Beaver Stadium specifically. That's the type of stuff that I thought he really, really boomed with. And I'll take it if Shaz Preston or Tyler Morris get that type of bump in Indiana.
Have you been hearing the whispers from camp? Because there's been a ton of people mentioned. I'm going to stay on the subject. Whereas Nithin mentioned this earlier, but it's going to be a free flowing
Yeah,
podcast. Like we're
for
just
sure.
going to talk about whatever pops in our brain. Uh, Jackson Wasserstrom
Yes, I did hear that whisper.
has been showing out. Is he a walk on?
He was on the team last year. I think he is a walk-on.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I don't know how eligibility works with that.
just
Um,
infinite. There are no rules anymore.
don't even
It's
get me
infinite.
started with the NFL players coming back. It's
Infinite.
disgusting.
According to the IU roster, he's a fifth year from Westfield. Same hometown
Apparently
as
he's killing it.
Olympian.
Apparently he's killing it. I would not be surprised if we see him and LeBron Bond at some
Sure.
point. I feel like that whole position group is crazy deep because like I haven't we've been talking about the wide receivers for what like 10 minutes now and we
Yeah.
haven't mentioned
Charlie Becker.
Davion Chandler
Davion Chandler.
or are we barely mentioned Charlie
Yeah.
Becker like I don't know. There's a lot of playing time. There's not a lot of playing time and a lot of good people, which is good, by the way. This is a good thing because obviously competition brings out the best in all of them.
But it's the
But
best
yeah,
position group at Indiana right now, going into the
no,
season.
no,
Ooh. Okay, so
no.
I'll make the case for the receivers, and then I'll hear what you're saying, what you have to say. I mean, to
The
start
receivers
off
are
with,
excellent,
yeah. To start
excellent.
off with, as you mentioned, right? Like we spent 10 minutes and we barely scratched the surface on Charlie Becker, who, if everything goes to plan, even if it doesn't go to plan, he should be like a top 60 pick in the NFL draft
Yeah.
um, next season. Um, the Indiana football social media, you know, machine is churning out Charlie Becker stuff left and right. Charlie Becker got the sit down interview when Big Ten Network came to Memorial Stadium, came to Bloomington for their practice preview. It was Charlie Becker and Josh Hoover. Yet we haven't really talked about Charlie Becker. Tyler Morris was an impact receiver on Michigan's national championship team 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You didn't hear about him last year because he got injured before the season
He
started.
didn't play.
And he's a Midwest guy, Chicago native. I'm sure he'll have a bunch of family in attendance. He's experienced, he's seasoned. Shaz Preston had awesome numbers at Tulane last year. Seasoned, he knows what he's doing. And then, as you mentioned, we barely even got into the growth of guys like Davion Chandler, LeBron Bond, and then yes, the walk on change up with Jackson Wasserstrom. Um, to me, it's especially poignant because Josh Hoover gets the ball to his wide receivers.
Yep.
He's very comfortable finding his receivers in any type of passing situation. And it was funny to me that Fernando Mendoza's first NFL preseason touchdown went to a receiver in Jack Beck that Josh Hoover had a strong relationship with at TCU and made an NFL wideout and a high draft pick at TCU. And inside, outside, Eric McAllister was a great receiver at TCU. I can't remember if he's still
Mhm.
there, if he's in the NFL now, or if he transferred out, but Eric McAllister was a great receiver at TCU. And it's funny, like Curt Cignetti's kind of thrown some shade at TCU when he's gotten in front of the mic pretty consistently, saying things like, yeah, we're gonna surround him with more here at Indiana. We're not gonna ask him to do as much at Indiana. I'm betting you behind the scenes, Curt Cignetti is watching how Sonny Dykes at TCU used that wide receiver room and how they worked with Josh Hoover. So it's funny. I look at this receiver group and I'm like, wow, we're coming off a year where Elijah Surratt and Omar Cooper and EJ Williams are moving on to the NFL.
Yeah.
Yet we feel like this is the strongest position. I feel like this is the strongest position group at Indiana. You disagree. What's your
I
call?
absolutely disagree. It's defensive line. And it wasn't defensive line as of like this time last week, or
Ooh,
maybe like 2 weeks ago. It wasn't. It was close. I might even lean to offensive line.
sure, sure.
Also, some also,
Oh,
the
Toby,
two can
Toby and
the
Chitty.
two Toby and Chitty, yes. All right. Toby, Chitty, and Dukeway, Landino, Tyreek Tucker, Stephen Daly,
Josh
Josh
Burnham,
Burnham,
Joe Jelly, or
Joe
Jelly. I'll get the pronunciation before the season
Joe
starts.
had
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. Um, we go like that's 8 guys for 4 spots.
It's nuts. And this is the way you do it, right? I mean, I'll
What
never
about the
forget.
Calipari on defense, by the way? We're just gonna like full sub in lines. It's gonna be ridiculous, right? Like four
Yeah.
guys are gonna play 3 downs. Okay, did we get a 3 and out? No. Okay, four fresh legs go in. All right. Did they get the job done? All right, you guys who just had a rest, come back in. Like, I don't know how you play against that. Like, Stephen Daly is instantly a top 5 defensive
Did you say
end.
Kellen Wyatt's name?
No, sorry, I didn't even say Kellen White. That's 9 guys. Because he's listed on here as a linebacker. I'm not even like I wasn't even looking at that. Yeah.
I'm a little just cautious about the Daly and the Wyatt stuff. I don't know. I guess like for
How
me, because
how
of
how
well,
how?
because of how fragile all this stuff is and how volatile these court decisions are, I'm honestly like I haven't tweeted about it running Indiana HQ's Twitter account just because like I don't want to look stupid if before the season opener there's another reversal and they say, "Oh, actually just kidding, fifth year guys can't play." So, once Daly and Wyatt suit up for Indiana in week one, I'll be going crazy. But to your point, even without those two guys, it's a loaded defensive line. My favorite player for a couple years on this team has been Tyreek Tucker.
Yeah,
The
he's
way
going to be a
he
monster.
the way he jumped off the screen in 2024,
Hmm.
I'm sitting here, I'm going,
Hmm.
wait, this guy, like, we can't play him more? No, we can't because he needs to like get the conditioning right. He has to get stretched out, almost like a reliever gets stretched out in baseball and become a starter. I watch this guy and go, whoa, the bag he's got, the mental sharpness, guys. Watch Tyreek Tucker on a screenplay. Watch him on a play action when the opposing quarterback ball fakes to the back behind him or next to him. Tyreek Tucker, sideline to sideline, as a very, very physically gifted defensive tackle. I am so excited to see him get the starter level, you know, the starter level reps on this team in 2026. In addition to the other guys you mentioned, Landino and Duke Way, it should be awesome to see these guys step up. There are a lot more retentions than I expected on this roster, Matt.
Yes.
Cignetti did not incorporate the same roster building strategy this offseason that he did in the previous two off seasons, before year one and before year two. This was very different. Yes, the
Right.
quarterback is a transfer in. We've called out one or two guys that have transferred into this program, but a lot of the bread and butter on this team is going to come from retained players. Are there one or two guys that are back on this team that you're like really fired up to watch? We talked about Charlie Becker, but um who are the guys that are coming back that you're fired up to watch? Are you surprised that they're back? And are you surprised that Cignetti went this route compared to how he went the last couple off seasons?
No, I'm not surprised that he went this route. I mean, this is going to be the route that he will consistently go for the rest of his tenure at IU, which is he's gonna get guys. He had to fill in gaps when he first got here. So he had to bring in a whole class of transfers, but all of those guys were old. So he had to do it again last year.
Yeah.
This year now, a lot of his guys he's brought in, whether they're multiple year transfers or finally guys that he brought in from, freshmen from either from JMU or whatever, now they're getting older, right? And then now we're going to start seeing our young guys that we've,
Yes.
recruited over the
Recruited.
last couple of years,
Grassroots.
yeah, come through the ranks now, which is how this program should be, which is that you build out 75% of your roster through just natural, you know, development, right? Through the program, right? Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, like build these guys up,
Right.
have building blocks, and then fill in the holes, right? Plug the holes with players that are in the transfer portal that have experience and snaps and the know-how to play the position at a power five level under Cignetti and put them in a position for them to succeed. And that's how it's going to work. Now, to answer your question,
Yeah.
Carter Smith is number one because he's a
What
guy that
what a
should
what a
be
beast.
playing. He should
What a
be in the
beast.
NFL. He should be in the NFL. He's
What a beast.
the best tackle in the sport, I think, this year. I don't think that's
Man.
crazy. And it's a competitive list because
Whew.
tackles
Was it the
actually
Outland? Is that the Outland trophy?
yeah, the Allen Trophy. I think he's the favorite. If this offensive line, knock on wood, can stay healthy, I think they're the best offensive line in the country. They got three 4-year starters, seniors on this offensive line. And then you have a Johnny who played a bit last year, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
And was it Austin Lieberfield is the other guy? I'm
Man.
trying to remember who the fifth might be, but
You got Bray
I
Lynch, you say him.
Bray Lynch,
Ajani, you say him. It might be
Bray Lynch,
Bruner.
Brunner,
Brunner. Again, I'll get the
Brunner,
pronunciation. Drew Evans, you name him. Can't remember.
Drew Evans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smith.
Oh, sorry, Drew Evans. That's
there
right.
you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Drew Evans, Brunner, Ajani,
Yep.
Bray Lynch,
Yep.
Carter Smith.
Yep.
That's the five. Yeah,
Yep.
I keep
But it's good that you
glossing over
mentioned,
his name.
like there's a little bit more experience depth, not much. Cignetti's called it out, but Liebfried, Baylor Wilkin, there is some experience depth, but look, in college football nowadays, you can't really go 2, 3 deep at every single trench position. So,
That would be nice, though.
so,
I
so
would take that.
sorry to Georgia and Alabama and LSU. I think that's the single most important reason the SEC has regressed. Um, and
Oh,
even
and then
like, yeah,
no, go ahead.
no, and so like, especially up front on both sides of the ball, you're not going to have, 3 deep stars.
Yeah, you don't.
So
Alabama doesn't even have those like three lines of five stars at
I
offensive
was gonna say, I thought
tackles,
you were
right?
gonna say
Like
they don't
they
have
used to
one
have.
deep. I thought you were gonna say they don't have one deep. Yeah.
They actually don't have one deep anymore. It's kind of sad
Their
poverty
trenches
over
have
there.
disappeared. Man,
There's been a
it's
lot of that
nuts.
program has disappeared.
Ah,
Anyways, second player I'm excited to watch.
yeah,
I'm gonna stay on defense.
yeah.
Isaiah Jones, right? The
Whew,
guy was a huge playmaker for the team
whew.
last year. I think some of the most important plays made on defense last year, Bones Jones made. Now he's got to step up into a bigger role this year. We lose our rock in the middle, right?
Yep,
We lose
yep,
him to the NFL,
yep.
and now we need Isaiah Jones to fill that space. And I mean, he might not be the one to exactly fill that space, right? But he needs to take the burden of being the most experienced linebacker out there, right?
Yep.
And being the senior now.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love that. One or two guys I'll mention, along right next to the hip of Isaiah Jones will be Elijah Hardy.
Yep.
Um, the growth of Elijah Hardy is something that I think is a bit underrated when talking about the 2025 national champion Hoosiers.
Hmm.
A lot of respect, a lot of attention to Aiden Fisher, to Isaiah Jones. As he said, everyone calls me Bones. No one really calls me Isaiah. So I'll say Bones. All right, Bones. All right, fine. Um, the growth of Elijah Hardy to me lines up directly with how Brian Haynes likes to call his defense. And all of a sudden, it's like, hey, I can bring Hardy on a blitz. I can have him fake it and drop back. I can have him cover the tight end. A lot has been made about Indiana's schedule. We'll talk about that a little bit, but among the Titans that Indiana faced last season on their way to a national champion, they faced a lot of really good tight ends. Oregon
Yeah.
had two. One went to the NFL, Kenyon Sadiq. Another one's going to be awesome this upcoming season. I think Jamari Johnson. I think he scored against
Mm-hmm.
Indiana last year, early in
Yes.
that Peach Bowl. Um, Kazmarek and the other guy at Ohio State, whose name I'm forgetting, they had two. Max Clare were the two tight ends at Ohio State. Um, Alabama had Josh Cuevas. Indiana faced a lot of very, very, very good tight ends on their way to winning a championship. Good tight ends at Illinois, at Penn State, Miami. It's just, yeah. And so Elijah Hardy neutralizing that is very, very critical to what Brian Haynes likes to do on defense. So wanted to give him a shout out. I don't Jamari Sharp. I look, you know, I don't know how many guys clinched the national championship and then, play the following season in college football with the same team in front of the same fans. That's going to be exciting. Amari Farrell, I can't wait to watch him solidify his NFL draft stock this upcoming year. My one guy on offense, I'm going to go a little bit outside the box here. Kobe Martin. Kobe Martin to me could be the Charlie Becker of running backs, right? Like in the sense of he didn't, remember Charlie Becker emerged because there were one or two injuries to Elijah Surratt last season.
Sure.
Kobe Martin didn't get that chance. Roman Hemby, Kalen Black were rock solid health wise all year.
Mm.
we may be talking about Kobe Martin like we talk about Charlie Becker once the calendar flips to November. I think there'll be some
Okay,
growth.
I like that take,
There's a little bit of a learning
but
curve.
I counter your take.
Okay.
I counter your take
Yeah.
because I think Turbo Richard is awesome, and he's gonna take some carries, and I think we most of you will forget Lee Beebe
Yeah. I
was
like that.
was taking serious minutes
Yeah.
at the start of last season
Yeah. Yeah.
from both of our
From
starting
from
running
Black
backs.
and Hemby or Hemby and Black.
Yeah,
Yeah. For
he
sure.
was. I think he got the second most minutes, maybe to Black starting
That's
the
a
year. I
good
think
point.
Hemby had less minutes, and now that might have been an injury issue, right? Like maybe Hemby was
Yeah.
coming into the
Learning
season a
curve
little bit
ramping
banged
up.
up,
Yeah.
whatever. But BB's a guy like I a ton of people talk about Turbo Richard. I hear a ton of people talking about Kobe Martin. If BB's healthy and ready to go for the season, I there's a chance he is the starting running back.
No, there is. And again, my counter to your counter is hey, this is the Cignetti way, right? Have two, three options. Charlie
I
Becker's got one or two or three other guys in that wide receiver room. Kobe Martin, I think, yeah, like he's not going to be expected to play every down. I completely agree
no
with what you're
no
saying.
no.
Nothing close to that. But there is some explosiveness and there is some in-state pride that Kobe Martin carries every time he steps out on that field. The Indiana native, um, early commit to Cignetti. He is
Yeah, that's
somebody
right.
that for 2 years has been the mop-up guy. Was it's 2 years or one? I think it's
He's a sophomore.
okay. Okay. But anyway, he's been
Listed as a sophomore,
he's
but
been getting the
who
mop-up
is
snaps.
what year anymore? I don't know.
Well, look, yeah, Kobe Martin's gotten snaps in 2 seasons. Um, so there you go.
I give up.
So his year one's probably getting classified as a red shirt because he barely did anything.
Did he play
But
in 3 games?
two games, 14 carries in year one
Yeah, so he
last year.
redshirted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, let's talk about Indiana's non-conference schedule, man. Everyone's got an opinion, but before we get there, let's talk about who won the week this past week in IU sports, and we've got stuff happening. IU men's soccer taking care of business last night. Season
Taking
opener
care of business.
against Notre Dame. How about that? Dominant victory 3-1. Oliver Muller Jensen getting the game ball, scoring twice. I
Heck
mean,
yeah.
come on. He also
I
assisted
mean,
on the other Indiana goal. I mean, that's what you like to see. Indiana beating Notre Dame. Music to my
look,
ears.
look, with all of the pros joining back to the NCAA, I can't wait to welcome Lionel Messi to the Lincoln.
To Indiana, Messi to Indiana.
Never say never.
He's got eligibility. And look, Illinois basically on their basketball team have Serbian guys who are as old as Messi is. So
How old are they? They're like what, 28? They're old. They're as like old as me, which is ridiculous.
hey, look, IU football's got some old guys on the team. So
No, no, we're not gonna get started with that because like everyone says that, but then
I'm
BYU is out
no,
there
no,
with
no.
like
You're
actual
right.
30-year-old men.
You're right. But it's not like Indiana's trotting out a bunch of youngsters.
Yeah, but they're fourth
They're
and
playing
fifth year
within the rules.
seniors. They're
Sure.
still
They're playing
22,
within the rules.
23 years old. Like
It's
I
different
don't
than
I
what Illinois is
don't
doing. Sure. Yeah. Sig would bring in Messi. It's like a kicker.
yeah, you imagine by the way, I'm looking at the roster. We have five place kickers on the roster.
Iron.
Why?
Iron sharpens iron.
What are they doing?
Well, look, how many
Surely we
guys
don't have
kicked the
enough
ball for
goalposts for
Indiana
that.
last year? Was it three or four?
3, I think.
Because Radicic kicked field goals.
Yep.
We had two. Who made that long field goal against Oregon in Autzen? That was not Radicic. That was somebody else.
Yep. Yeah, it was
Um,
our kickoff pet specialist, which was
McCarthy was McCarthy the guy that kicked the field goal against that doesn't
maybe
sound right. He's a kickoff. He was a
no.
kickoff guy. I don't think he made that field goal though. It was Quinn Warren. No, Quinn Warren was also a kickoff guy. It was Brendan Frankie. Frankie made the
How,
field goal
how many
against
kickers
Oregon.
do we have?
Radicic made he was the, primary kicker, but McCarthy and Warren also had kickoff duty. So the four guys kicked balls for Indiana last year, in addition to uh, uh, sorry, McCarthy was the punter.
Yep.
But four guys put shoe to football last year.
We got an Aussie punter now.
I think Quinn Warren and Brendan Frankie handled kickoff, and then Frankie made that field goal against Oregon. So look, there you go. That's why Sig does everything for a reason, including scheduling 3 cupcakes in a non-conference slate. Any
Uh,
problems, Matt, with the schedule? Any problems with this Notre Dame thing, disappearing? Anything as far as standardizing the schedule? Cignetti keeps saying that it's coming in a year or 2 years or 3 years. Non-conference schedule, Matt. Everyone needs to give their 2 cents, and we'll give ours now.
yeah, my 2 cents is
Get
well, if
off
I
my lawn.
speak, I am in big trouble.
Get off my lawn, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, but like, I want to play other Power Five teams that aren't in the Big Ten. Like a normal Big Ten, I understand wanting an easy 3 non-conference games so that you can really focus on the meat and potatoes of the season, which is like Ohio State at home and USC at home and going to Washington, right?
Sure.
Or and going to Michigan. I get that. I get that. I also get using these games as like a tune-up for when Big Ten play starts. I understand that. I also believe that these games are a great opportunity to blow teams out so fast that you get the backups in, you get to see some tape. I also understand that, and I think that's a wonderful strategy. I want one game a year where we play a rival, an extra rivalry game of a non Big Ten opponent. I want one. The other 2 games can be Northwestern State and Southeastern University of the Blind, Dumb, and Deaf. I don't
Wow.
care.
Well, I don't know how much we'll learn playing them.
Quite a lot. Uh,
S S
you'd be
E
surprised.
S
You'd be
E
surprised.
U B D.
Yeah, that's quite an acronym. What I was saying. Oh, I want to play. I want to bring back the Kentucky rivalry. Out of everything I want to do, I want to bring back the Kentucky football rivalry. They're an SEC team. That way, no one can just be like, they're ducking playing other people. So we're playing an SEC team, right? They're a close rival, right? It would be wonderful to do a home and home. We just travel. It's a great color matchup, right? You got the blue and the red. It's fantastic. On top of the fact that from every once in a while, Kentucky is actually legitimately awful. They're still a Power Five program, so people will give you credit for playing another Power Five game, but they're legitimately awful. Now they might actually be spicy this year, and under their new coach, they might actually do some decent stuff.
I,
Uh,
I think they're maybe 2 years away, but yeah, look, Will Stein knows, like
Will Stein knows what he's doing.
he's the
Yeah.
right move for that program bringing him
Yes.
in. So I disagree with you.
Okay.
I
Let me hear
disagree
you.
with you. I think Cignetti's strategy is great. 3 cupcakes. There's no Power Five anymore. It's a Power One. It's a Power 1.5. It's the Big Ten, and the SEC is behind the Big Ten,
Don't
and
give him a
barely,
half.
and barely. They haven't made a national championship game in 3 years, and college football has entirely changed in the last 2 seasons. The Ole Miss and Vanderbilt have carried that league for 2 years. All right, Florida sucks.
Don't make me
LSU
defend
sucks.
Georgia.
Texas is the most overrated team in college football.
They've made two Final Fours in the last 3 years.
And then when they play Ohio State, they get their ass kicked
No, they threw that game
twice.
away. One of
Last
those
year they
Ohio
did
State
the
games, they just
semifinal 2 years ago. I thought Ohio State got them comfortably. Last year, you're right.
yeah,
Texas played well, lost the game in the shoe.
yeah, yeah.
Here,
I
here are some big time non-conference games, Matt, between ranked teams. Now, I know you didn't say ranked. You said rival. It is different.
yeah.
You're talking
Yeah.
Louisville, you're talking Kentucky, you're talking, Cincinnati maybe.
Occasionally a Notre Dame or a Cincinnati, yeah.
But in this day and age, the non-conference games between power ranked teams are very misleading. It's like, congrats, uh, LSU for beating Clemson last year.
Yeah.
What did
Well,
either of those teams get by playing that game?
well, LSU got a new
They probably got
coach.
misguided. They probably got a fake, what is it? A fake set of something like answers.
Well, they just found out who the superior tiger was.
How
It's
how
something.
much did it benefit Ohio State to beat Texas early in the year last year? It felt like Ohio State played Texas, then they played a bunch of games that they won comfortably, and then when the season was on the line against Indiana and Miami, they were flat.
Yeah, but they no, the Texas game propped them up after they lost Indiana.
You got the benefit of, hey, you got like a decent seed in the CFP. You didn't have to sweat it out on select. I mean, okay. And then the ultimate polar opposite is Notre Dame, who played all right at Miami last year. They played all right against Texas A&M last year, but they lost both games.
And they didn't play anybody else.
Indiana gets the entirety of the Big Ten schedule. So here's the thing. Like, I think what I like, and again, you called out some of these benefits. You get your ramp up, especially with the roster building strategy as Cignetti puts into play. New quarterback every season. Hey, here are 3 games where you can sort of work some things out. It greatly benefited Fernando Mendoza last year. He
Yeah, because he
used
was
those 3.
terrible in
He
the
he
first
was
game.
bad against Old Dominion, better against Indiana State, better against Kennesaw State, and then Illinois. Wow,
Yeah.
awesome! That was your midterm, crushed it. Your first midterm, you crushed it.
This won't be the only time we're talking about Old Dominion in this podcast, by the way.
um, I really like this setup for Indiana, where you and look, I'll talk about Old Dominion. Is Old Dominion a cupcake last year? The 3 this year, I think, are going to be pretty bad. Old Dominion, they power rated around the same level as some ACC and Big 12 teams from last season. And seeing how Indiana played against how Old Dominion played against Indiana compared to how Michigan State, oh, never mind, how Purdue played against Indiana, how UCLA played against Indiana. Um, I think Old Dominion would have beaten both of those teams straight up. So, um, I'm good with this. My last thing on this is Cignetti wants standardization across the Big Ten and the SEC. He wants the same rules for both of these conferences. Hey,
Yeah.
the SEC finally woke up and decided 9 conference games is a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I'm sure Cignetti threw a parade when that news came through. The Big Ten's got to play 9 because the Big Ten believes they're a great conference. If the SEC is so confident in how good their conference is, you should play your teams. Your team should play each other 9 times every season so you develop a true champion. I think Cignetti is onto something. Make the rules equal across the board. Give me maybe it's a neutral site game against another power conference team and 2 bye games. Maybe it's a home
Hmm.
game. Maybe it's a road game again. Like the NFL is standardized. You know who your opponents are the moment your team plays its last snap of the season. Every year, when your Eagles or my Bears get the final whistle on the final game this upcoming season, we both know exactly who our NFL team will be facing next year.
That's
That's what
true.
Cignetti wants. You have to find a way to create an even playing field because otherwise you're going to get a lot of ambiguity, a lot of uncertainty. And by the way, I said Big Ten SEC for Cignetti. He also wants Notre Dame to play by the same rules. We'll see if they join a conference. Anyway,
You're never joining a conference.
everyone's got an opinion when it comes to Indiana's non-conference schedule. Um, we'll wrap up here, Matt, in just a moment. But first, we want to debut a new segment on this podcast for the 2026 season. Uh, Usually, we had something called a social media shout out. You guys all have social media now. You all see everything. Your algorithms are feeding you exactly optimal content for IU football fandom. We're going
True.
to debut a new segment called Memba When. And
Remember
Memba
when?
When is going to be a weekly, episode by episode reflection on a play or a moment from Indiana's legendary 2025 national championship run. Matt, I'll let you kick things off. What's your Memba When?
Remember when? First play of the season, we gave up a touchdown to Old Dominion.
Yeah, I do. Man, Colton Joseph.
Colton
Never
Joseph.
forget his name. Because of that play, the entire season, I was tracking how Colton Joseph was doing on a week by week basis because I was like, that guy could play at Indiana next year. But like as the
We
season
did
went
talk
on,
about that many times.
he had some blemishes as the year went on. So I was like, okay, maybe not. But I wouldn't be surprised if he elevated his level, and he did. He's going to be Wisconsin's quarterback this year. Um, and I think he's going
It's
to
fun.
create some problems for Notre Dame. Week one. Uh, just saying.
And Notre Dame is pretty stacked, but
They
true.
are.
They're crazy. They're actually legitimately might win the title
They
this
are.
year.
They're a very good team.
Yeah.
Just not in the conference.
Um, what's your member win?
Remember when Davion Chandler scored like an 80-yard touchdown against Purdue? That's my
Those were
member
good
win, Matt.
times.
That's my member win. Because that weekend, uh it was a Black Friday game. It was a
Yeah,
Black Friday
yeah,
game.
it was.
And I'm on record on this podcast saying I was a bit nervous about that IU Purdue night Black Friday game because
Mm,
Purdue kind of does things against great teams. And I
yeah.
know that was in a different era with a different coach and stuff, but I don't know. I
No,
was
Purdue's always been spooky. Always been spooky,
They
no matter who
always
their
a
coach
little thing
is.
or two up
Yeah.
their sleeve, and the weather was terrible. There's no problem for Indiana.
I think they have a sneaky home field advantage because West Lafayette is so depressing that every time the opposing team comes into West Lafayette and they have to see
Yeah,
what West Lafayette is as in its existence, um, it's Purdue gets like, 6 extra points.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then remember when it's all connected. I'm getting somewhere. Remember when Omar Cooper scored the touchdown against Penn State? And then remember when Manchin Sales committed to Indiana in the offseason?
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. We have a 5-star commit in football.
That's my member when. It's the Lawrence North hierarchy, the triumvirate. Um,
Remember when Josh Hoover committed to us and then flipped and
whew,
went to TCU
yeah.
and now he's our starting quarterback?
That's a story that I don't think many people have mentioned.
No.
Josh Hoover was going to be like there was that window in 2019 and 2020 where Indiana football was pretty cool. And it was like Jabron Payne
We
and Josh
were we
Hoover
were
and
we
Deshaun
weren't
McCullough,
cool. We weren't cool. We were
whatever, on the
extra
upswing.
spicy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
had momentum.
Yeah. And Fuego.
Yeah. And then 2021 happened. Um, but yeah, Josh Hoover wanted to be a Hoosier. Um,
Remember?
because Bray Lynch kind of committed to Indiana, I think around the same time, if my timeline is
Yeah,
right. And a
yeah,
couple
yeah,
Texas
yeah.
boys were gonna come to Indiana, and Josh Hoover said, "Nah, I'm good." And you know what? He
Remember
played great
when?
at TCU. Like I don't know, he like that was a good career choice for him. Now he's gonna elevate.
Remember when Elijah Surratt caught the game-winning touchdown
Yeah,
against Iowa
that was
to avenge
yo.
me traveling to Iowa City in 2021 to watch us
That was a
get
dark day.
accosted
That was a dark
on
day.
ABC.
That was a dark. That game was on
It
BTN.
was a
That game was
that
that
was
was a BTN game, but it
that
was
was a
like a
BTN
3:30.
game
Yeah, yeah,
between two ranked
yeah,
teams
yeah.
at
But it was
3:30 in the
like,
afternoon.
but it was like the game that BTN built their entire like off-season hype machine around because they were like, and BTN's great. It's carried the conference for a while.
No, it's awesome, but I can't believe that was on Big
That
Ten
was a
Network.
BTN game. Um, yeah. If Curt Cignetti wasn't coaching at Indiana, I think the next highest university he would love to coach at is Iowa.
I bet you if you go back in time, and it's this is a
Yeah,
stupid hypothetical that would never exist. We go back in time, and the Iowa job and the Indiana job were open at the
yeah,
same time,
right.
and Cignetti got to pick, and it was
Yeah,
the same
yep.
payday at both jobs. He's picking Iowa
Yeah,
9 out of 10 times, 10 out of 10 times. Sorry.
because it's funny. Like there's obviously been a lot of speculation about Cignetti's job in the last couple of years, right? And you've heard some of the programs thrown out there: Florida, Penn State. What was there an LSU maybe here and there, a little bit possibly.
You,
Um,
you buckle down because there's going to be, depending on how Kalen
sure,
DeBoer does this year, there's going to be some
sure,
Alabama
fine.
rumblings.
And I think Alabama's pretty high up on Cignetti's list too. But it's funny, like when I think of some of the programs, when I think of all the programs that have been mentioned so far, I don't like, I was never nervous. Like Cignetti, like there's so much noise around Penn State. There's so much noise at Florida. There's so much noise at some of these places. I mean, the LSU, what was it? The Louisiana governor got involved at some point. Remember that? Remember when that happened? Like,
Weird.
that's Cignetti's never going there. But you know where it's been kind of quiet for like 30 years? Iowa City. Like, like it's a great fan base with a good program. Cignetti could bring his kind of football vision into there. I think he called Iowa like the most underrated team Indiana faced last year, or the
Yeah,
most
they're,
underrated team in football last year. And
yeah.
I think
Their
it's
defense is
Cignetti.
just so spectacular year after year.
I think Cignetti could happily take Brian Haynes and Mike Shanahan and the brain trust and go to Iowa City. But
They would have won the title. It would have been the same thing. It would have been the
and
same
he
thing.
would
It would
have
have been the
been,
same
he would have
story.
been God in Iowa City, like he's God in Bloomington. And that might be even pretty like insulting to Sig. Like he's kind of higher than that at this point.
I'm trying to think of what schools Signetti could have gone into with given, let's say he gets the same NIL
Yeah,
resources he got at IU.
right.
What Power Five school could he have stepped into where he doesn't win the title in the second year?
Wow. So that's interesting because like he's probably winning a title in a good number of places. And Indiana had it as bad. Like Indiana was as bad as any power conference football program. So like to
We
me,
were
it's
three and
like
nine, 3 years in a row.
I mean, we've been 3-9 on average for like 100 years. I mean, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
so like on average.
I think we were worse than that, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So to me it's like where would the program and the noise get in the way? So to me, that's like Tennessee, or to me, that's like it's kind of Penn State, where
I see. I don't know about that. Given like, look at what they Penn State did with Matt Campbell. Hey, Matt Campbell is that's Iowa State East.
yeah, I mean, I get it, but like, I think all the stuff there kind of just limits the ceiling. Um,
I I'm
where
not
else?
sure I agree with that, but
I don't
I'm
know.
thinking I'm in a couple teams. Northwestern. I don't think
Ooh.
there's not
Are
enough talent
yeah,
on
that's a
that
good point.
roster.
The academic aspect to that program too.
Vanderbilt, same thing. Had a great year last year. I still don't think Curt Cignetti, Clark
That's
Lee
a
did an
good
amazing
angle.
job. I
Yeah,
don't think Vanderbilt is able to win with him. I don't think um, Kentucky. I don't think Kentucky wins with him. Purdue doesn't,
sure.
right? In some evil world where he becomes Purdue head coach. I'm thinking about ACC, Boston College, probably not.
I
Um,
see what you're saying. So, especially because I think Boston College also has a bit of an academic
the point
threshold
is
too.
year two. I'm not talking about like does he win a
Yeah.
title eventually there. I'm talking about year
Okay.
two, and I'm thinking about teams that just don't have a lot of talent.
Yeah.
He brings in the JMU guys. Like a lot of the talent on last year's team was guys left over from the
Oh
Tom
yeah.
Allen era,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was guys that were still in the program,
Yeah.
and Cignetti identified when looking at the job, hey, these guys can do some stuff, and I'm bringing some guys that are complementary to them, right, in
The funny
here,
thing
and
is,
let's see how it works.
we both were on here 2 3 years ago saying like actually it'd be no like kind of two and a
Three
half,
years ago now,
yeah, 3 years
yeah,
ago, saying like it was pretty telling that great power conference programs were pursuing guys like Donovan McCulley, Brendan Sorsby, Carter Smith, from that Indiana roster.
bro, bro, we were getting picked apart like a turkey on
Uh,
Thanksgiving,
and we were
and
like, ooh, that's like a
we were
sign
like
that,
three
yeah,
and nine football team,
yeah,
like
yeah. Like
and we
losing Big
almost
Ten games
lost
by
to
30
Akron.
again. Yeah. Should have.
Should have lost to
I
Akron.
watched that
And
entire game.
we're watching, us vultures, Ohio State and
Yep.
Michigan. Florida State came and took Jalen Lucas
Jalen
from us,
Lucas. Yep.
right? Like they're coming in just picking players,
Yep. He's at
throwing money
Tulane, by
bags
the
at
way.
them.
I don't know if you saw that. And
Wow, did you see Tulane's uniforms?
I did. Sharp.
That,
Sharp. Um
unbelievable.
Duke, I think would be hard. Yeah, so I think the funny thing is, so the way I look at it, I think Cignetti would eventually win a national championship at all the places that you mentioned.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'm talking about year two.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So if I take that and I tweak it and I look at it from an eventual standpoint, I think the places where the noise gets too loud are the places where Cignetti would not be able to win it all.
Like a Michigan.
That's a good point. And those schools change every couple years, for sure.
Yeah.
They change every couple years, but it's a good point. I think
Cignetti
Cignetti would not
replaces
win.
Harbaugh and brings in a bunch of JMU transfers, like the people, the Michigan fans would want his head.
Sharon Moore wants something else. All I'm saying is, look, everyone is happy Curt Cignetti is the head coach in Indiana.
I wouldn't say everybody is happy. There are people that are Purdue fans.
I think they're happy
I'm
too.
actually excited. I'm starting a new job, by the way, for those of you that don't know. I'm starting a
Ooh,
new
shit.
job. I just had like orientation today. My
Hell
first
yeah.
day of work is on Monday, like full day of
Ooh.
work. My boss is a Purdue grad.
Wow.
So I showed up today with my IU Rose Ball hat I have back there from
Mm.
Home Field
Of
Apparel,
course, of course.
and she was not a happy camper.
Wow. Man, you guys are sounds like a football ambassador to China.
I
Both of you.
actually might be. Yeah,
Football ambassadors to China.
my girlfriend's an IU football fan now, so you
There
get
you
that.
go. I mean, look. So yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up, Matt. Any final thoughts here on this Friday? We'll dive more into like North Texas maybe in a couple weeks. We'll maybe look at Big Ten Week 1 stuff next week. Um, any final thoughts as we sort of set the stage for the 2026 IU football season?
I just want to Thank you, Lord Jesus above. Baby, sweet baby Jesus. Thank you for college football coming back. Please, I needed football back in my life. It's coming back. Thank God. Week 0 is like what, 2 weekends away
No,
now.
it's one weekend away.
Even better. One
Even
weekend
better.
away.
TCU, North
One.
Carolina, August 29th, noon Eastern.
That's right. That's right. Also, thank you, sweet
Good
baby
game.
Jesus. I work Monday to Friday now and not
Wow.
Wednesday to Sunday. So now I can watch the games without having to go to work the next day.
Wow. Blessings. Um,
Yeah, for those who don't know, I do live in China. If you don't watch
yeah,
the
right,
podcast,
right, right, right.
so just take whatever time it is in Eastern
Yeah,
time and
yeah. Flip it.
flip
Yeah.
flip it 12 hours, and
AMT,
that's what I had to watch it at.
AMT. You get a midnight kick for North Texas. Nice and
I
easy.
do get a midnight kick. That's
Nice
easy.
easy.
That's
Nice
easy.
easy.
That's easy. Easy.
That's
It's the 3:30 p.m. kickoffs that make me want to die.
I have I don't have too much else. I think Indiana's schedule is easier than people are prognosticating this upcoming season in the conference. I think there's a lot of buzz around a few teams this year, and I think I'm down on all of them, and they all end up as opponents this year in Indiana's schedule.
Hmm.
I'm not very interested in USC, not very interested in Washington, not very interested in Nebraska, not very interested in Michigan. I think all four of those teams are going to be worse than expected, and they're all on Indiana's schedule. And I think because four people are sort of hyping them up, it's like, wow, it is a tough schedule for Indiana this year. Um, and if they're good, I'm good. Indiana will beat them too. But I think you're gonna see as this year goes on, Indiana's schedule is gonna be easier than it was last year.
I don't know about that. I think Michigan's going to be better than people think they are. I don't think they're not going to make like playoff good, but they're sitting at 16 right now in the poll.
Yeah,
I think that's they maybe finish 14th,
I think they'll
just
finish worse than that.
outside.
I think they'll
No,
finish worse
I
than that.
I think I think they might actually just beat Oklahoma to start the season. By the way,
I'm rooting for them.
but
I'll
yeah,
root for them. I'm rooting for them and Ohio State. I hope Ohio State beats Texas week 2. I hope Michigan beats Oklahoma week 1. Like I want the Big Ten to
now
win these games.
see now see, I want a world where we give Ohio State their second loss.
Ooh, ooh, wow.
I want that world. Actually, I don't even know. We could be their third loss.
Good.
Let me look at their schedule.
It's nasty. It's like
It's
really tough.
it's really bad.
It's
Yeah.
really tough.
Um. We would be their second loss. Yeah. Or maybe they lose to Iowa. They do go play at Iowa.
Kinnick is
Wait,
what?
wait, wait. They play at Texas, at Iowa, at IU, at USC, at Nebraska.
Yeah, but like those last two games, I think are easy for them. Like I'm being dead serious. But I think they face
I
Oregon too, and I think Oregon's a machine, even though that game's
look,
easy.
look, 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 look. I think the Northwestern Nebraska game are easy. I would never count out Michigan in
Yeah,
that game playing up like 3 levels against Ohio State. It's a rivalry game. It happens. There's emotions. There's things happen in rivalry games.
that's true. Very true. No,
But
absolutely.
at Iowa, at IU, at USC, like basically with a Maryland game squeezed in there.
I am
Crazy
higher
stretch.
on Maryland, and I'm happy they're not on Indiana's schedule this year. So twist yourself into knots with that. I am higher on Penn State than I think most people are. I'm happy
Well,
Penn
no,
State's
no,
not
no,
an
no.
Indiana schedule this year.
Penn State's going to make it in the playoff and it's going to be a first round exit.
So it's funny, like it just so ends up happening. The teams I'm maybe, hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But the teams I'm excited about, I think Illinois once again is kind of going under the radar this year.
Eh?
Um, I think they kind of are getting a little bit overlooked, underrated. I'm happy Illinois is not on Indiana's schedule this year. Um, I think
You think Illinois is
Wisconsin.
going to be good?
I think these teams. I think Illinois. I think Wisconsin. Um, I think Maryland. I think those three teams will all appear in the AP top 25 this year at some point.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
good for the Big Ten if that's
And
true.
and I'm happy that they're not on Indiana's schedule. Especially like a Camp Randall game this year, I think would be kind of a bitter test.
Going to Camp Randall and going to Lincoln and then going to where
Yeah.
else is our other bad
Uh,
road game at? Michigan. Going
it's
to
Michigan.
going to Michigan, going to Camp Randall, and going to Lincoln all in the same season would be pretty bad.
For next week, like I'm so confident Indiana starts 5-0. Like we should we should say one of those things that you see on like Barstool where it's like if they don't go 5-0, we're gonna do this. Shave my head.
We're gonna eat poop,
Yeah.
and then we go
Tattoo.
5-0.
Yeah. If we lose one of the
Uh,
first 5 games,
yeah, but then I'd be sweating out the Nebraska game.
I'm gonna convert to Islam.
And with that,
Yeah. I guess it. That, folks, wraps it up for our 361st show of the Hoosier Sound. If you enjoy our show, leave us a review, tell a friend, share our links. That kind of support really helps us grow this podcast and reach more passionate IU fans such as yourself. To hear more fantastic episodes like the one you heard today, be sure to follow us at Indiana HQ to make sure you don't miss any in the future. If you enjoy our show, yeah, again, leave us a review, tell a friend. That's how we really spread the word. As always, thank you for listening, Hoosier Nation, and we will see you next time.
peace and love, go Hoosiers.